5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was.
I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious.
The fighters and, actual fighters, some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small.
Jake Paul delivers a strong warning to Gervonta Davis during a live session. He tells viewers that those who doubt him are mistaken because he takes his training and preparation seriously. Paul insists that he is determined and confident about what he can do in the ring. He also claims that Davis will not be able to handle his power and that the fight will prove his point.
He would potentially kill you if you got on the ring with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. Is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Aiden Ross, a popular streamer, strongly believes Jake Paul will shock the world against Gervonta Davis. In his view, anyone doubting Jake's chances simply does not understand boxing at all. Ross claims that Jake has been improving fight after fight and now has the tools to challenge even a champion-level boxer. He dismisses critics who see Jake as nothing more than a YouTuber-turned-fighter, arguing that Jake has proven himself in the ring already. For Ross, this fight is not about Tank's legacy but about Jake's rise, and he insists Jake's determination and discipline make him a very dangerous opponent.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be very surprised if Jake's not favorited on the sports betting on sports. Like, all you guys saying huh and all this shit, do you guys understand that it's all about weight and shit? Like, all right, I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious, right? It's very, very, very obvious.
Gervonta Davis is often criticized not for his skill inside the ring, but for his lack of selling power outside of it. Analysts argue that Davis has struggled to promote fights even within his own division, while Jake Paul and his brother Logan have mastered the art of hype. The Paul brothers are known for turning every event into a spectacle, selling millions of pay-per-views through their charisma and entertainment skills. This is why Jake is making this fight interesting on a global scale. Critics claim Tank's brand is not strong enough to carry such an event without Jake's influence.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
Shakur Stevenson, one of the most technically gifted fighters in boxing, openly criticized Gervonta Davis for taking this matchup. Stevenson feels it is disrespectful to boxing that Davis would choose to fight Jake Paul instead of top names available in his division. According to Shakur, Tank had better options, including a fight with him, that would have cemented his status as the best lightweight. Instead, Tank opted for what Stevenson sees as a money grab against a celebrity boxer. Shakur's frustration reflects a growing concern among purists who want to see real championship matchups instead of crossover spectacles.
You got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if you're going to call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Ade Oladipo looked at the fight from a different angle. highlighting that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are still in the peak years of their careers. For him, this clash should not be happening at this stage. Oladipo argued that fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul staged their exhibition after their best years were behind them, which made sense for entertainment purposes. In his opinion, Davis and Paul both have bigger fights ahead of them and should not waste this period chasing spectacle events. He believes this bout should have been delayed until after their prime years.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered #1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, like, it's done, right? Floyd versus Conor. Did he have one more after? Or was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end. It was done. Right at the end. Even if it wasn't. Right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. I'm guessing he walks around about 155. Like, what? Like, Jake Paul, I've been around him. I'm 5'11". I'd say he's 6'1". Gervonta, I've been around him. I'd say he's 5'4", 5'5", max. And you know, a lot of these guys wear those big heels.
Paulie gets fired up when the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight is brought up, and he vents his frustration while debating with Chris Algieri. He argues that knockouts only mean something when they come against real competition, not manufactured setups. He brings up Felix Trinidad and Mike Tyson as examples of fighters who prove their knockout power against the very best. Paulie says Tank has avoided top names for years, while the lightweight and super featherweight divisions were stacked with talent. To him, comparing this fight to Tyson's era is insulting, and he angrily dismisses it as a money grab.
Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree, I mean, you can. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way Wayne did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this,
with the expense of Witherspoon.
That we're afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you can say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about Trinidad. Trinidad is a bona fide superstar. And the way that he was, and like you said, he
stepped him up and he knocked out.
And he was a knockout punches. No, of course.
Analysts believe Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is more of a spectacle than a traditional boxing contest. They argue Jake is not championship-level material, so chasing belts does not make sense for him. Instead, a fight like this captures massive attention because of its entertainment value. With Netflix backing the broadcast, the matchup is guaranteed to draw a huge audience regardless of the outcome. Some say Tank will completely dominate since Jake cannot match his skill or speed, but others note the fight still holds appeal because people love seeing unusual clashes. Ultimately, it is about attention and spectacle over legacy.
I do. Like, I think he's tactfully, as I said, I think he's tactfully saying, like, oh,
even if
I'm
he's,
take
yeah, so even if he's promoting it the other way, I've been very consistent on my Jake Paul thoughts. I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote-unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is, you know,
do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
Stephen Fulton, a respected American boxer, spoke up to defend Davis amid criticism. Many fans and commentators have accused Tank of chasing easy money instead of real legacy fights, but Fulton offered a broader perspective. He said people should consider Davis's right to life-changing paydays, especially given how short a boxer's career can be. Fulton emphasized that while fans love to debate legacy, fighters themselves have families and futures to think about. From his perspective, there is nothing wrong with Davis taking a high-paying fight, even if it frustrates hardcore fans who wanted to see him face elite contenders.
Anybody in that position would have taken that fight, especially with the payout. It's like, that's a no-brainer, but I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like, he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Be like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Because, I mean, I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, because none of us would deny that money. They talk like they would. None of them would deny that money.
Eddie Chambers issued a strong warning about underestimating Gervonta Davis. Chambers acknowledged Jake Paul's physical size, but reminded everyone that Davis is extremely skilled and dangerous despite being smaller. He said that anyone who enters the ring with Tank and is not a monster themselves will struggle badly. According to Chambers, Davis's sharpness, speed, and knockout power make him one of the hardest fighters to deal with pound for pound. His comments reflect the divide in opinion, with some believing Jake's size matters, while others insist Tank's skill set will always give him the upper hand.
I think that something like this can happen, but this is social media, this is what it's created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, you know, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else, bite him. I don't know, but I mean, the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference, and all that, but he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. You know, it's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. and the punch. I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out or, but he's gonna feel it.
Several analysts believe the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight surpasses traditional boxing matchups like Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford in terms of global attention. Their reasoning is simple. Jake Paul is more than just a boxer. He is also an entertainer with a massive following that extends beyond the sport. Unlike most boxers who only attract hardcore fans, Jake taps into mainstream culture, bringing in millions of casual viewers. This crossover appeal makes the event bigger than just a fight. Analysts argue that while purists may scoff, the numbers will prove that Jake versus Tank will dominate headlines.
2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout, who's a far bigger star in the sport of boxing than Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Canelo's not a bigger global star than Jake Paul because Jake Paul is an entertainer outside the sport of boxing. That's why. So now you have people telling you that Jake Paul and Tank Davis is a circus fight. Okay? It's a commercial circus fight on top of that. Jake Paul fights at cruiserweight and heavyweight. 200 plus pound, 200 minimum. Okay, his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., former world champion, the son of a legend, he weighed in at 199 pounds. He fought Iron Mike Tyson at 224 pounds. Okay? Tank Davis fights at 135 pounds. You have the storyline of David and Goliath that's going to push the entertainment part, okay? That's going to get people to draw interest in the fight. Why? Because you have the whole David and Goliath situation going on. So again, that attracts people. Okay? So it's a sideshow. But even the sideshow, yes, it's going to be on Netflix. Yes, it's going to be a big event on Netflix. But guess what? They are fighting at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. That holds max for concerts, 21,000 people. Canelo and Terrence Crawford, September 13th, this Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada, at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. They just added seats and they're expecting 72,000 people in attendance.
Sebastian Fundora, a rising contender in his own weight class, shared his thoughts on the fight as well. Fundora admitted he is happy for Davis, especially from a financial standpoint. He said Tank deserves the payday, even if the matchup itself does not make sense competitively. Fundora's stance shows that many fighters respect the financial side of boxing, knowing how hard it is to secure life-changing money in such a brutal sport. While fans might debate legacy, active fighters like Fundora understand why Davis would accept the offer. For him, the money factor justifies Tank's decision.
Everybody knows Tank Davis is fighting Jake Paul, crossover matchup on steroids. Talk to us about it. What you think?
That's all it is, man. But it's good. Good for him. I'm happy for him. You know, everybody wants to do that, man. If you can go rob the bank and not get in trouble, why not, man? Why not?
Coach Reg took a pragmatic stance on the controversy. He pointed out that Gervonta Davis has already achieved a lot at such a young age, so there is no shame in him taking a fight like this. According to Reg, if Tank wanted to retire soon, or even after this fight, it would still be understandable. He has already proven himself as one of the best lightweights of his generation, and fighters eventually earn the right to cash in. Reg believes that critics overlook how much Davis has accomplished, and that boxing should not deny him the opportunity for a major payday.
You know what I mean? Especially Tank been talking about retirement, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical of Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputeds. And you got some people that just came in this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. You know what I mean? He accomplished a lot at a young age, so I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. You know what I mean? Plus, like look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So I think, you know, get the bag and go. That's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we all wanted to see him fight.
Guess what, bro?